Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning, goodness, well, it's good afternoon now. It's 12 something, huh? Good afternoon to you. Happy Friday. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Hope you have an absolutely outstanding weekend as well. I gotta tell you, it's a very, very interesting video I'm gonna share with you guys from XRP Army News Community Channel, the XRP Army News Community Channel. I gotta tell you, really proud of what the things that Scott is doing and what he's looking to put together as working together. I think is absolutely outstanding. I have become, disheartened at times by the walled gardens, if you will, within the XRP community. It's such a shame, because when I first became a part of the community, joined the space, it was a big, it was a nice family feel to it. And unfortunately, it feels as though it has become quite the walled gardens. And, shout out to XRP Army News Community Channel and Scott for, looking to do something in a collaborative fashion. I think it's absolutely outstanding, especially when you consider not looking for financial gain from doing so. I think it's a really cool deal. And I'll share a little bit more about that as well with you guys. But some interesting stuff on Twitter. Listen, Kraken and what they're doing is absolutely outstanding for sure. United States company be able to, operate now as a digital asset bank. That is some great news. It's a U.S. bank in Wyoming, but it's certainly it is in the U.S. And so from a digital assets perspective, I'm sure that there will be certain services that we will be able to use regardless of the state, because again, banks are national, right? And so even though it's housed in Wyoming, and so it's great to see that happen. And exit strategies and being able to exit into something, having it be done easily is going to be cool. I'm excited about not having to cash out and be able to leverage the different platforms that we have within the digital asset space, instead of liquidating the asset, being able to leverage it and still be able to live life, still be able to make the purchases that we want to make, grow our company, grow our business, and still hold on to our assets. So I'm excited about that. But Kraken getting this move is, it's a big deal for an exchange to be, to get this approval to become a bank, a digital asset bank, is great news. So I'm going to cover that as well. So guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to 10 minutes. So we shall see. What do I want to cover first here? This is an interesting little bit here from XRP Yo-Yo. Shout out to XRP Yo-Yo for continue to add value every single day to the community and the digital asset space as a whole. Big time community member. We appreciate all that you do, my friend. Thanks for sharing this. So how U.S. states are and aren't easing crypto firms' compliance burden. So it's an article about the CSBS and what they're looking to do. So we know we got the words that 48 or 49 states come together to agree and operate on a single set of rules, if you will, or the same set of rules for these crypto firms. And for the states, this is great, absolutely great. And again, being able to do one thing one time and then have that apply to all the other states is great for moving this space forward without question. So shout out to Kraken. Here's an article. Kraken becomes the first crypto exchange to become a U.S. bank. Kraken is the first cryptocurrency to become a bank. On Wednesday, the Wyoming Banking Board voted to approve the San Francisco-based crypto exchange application for a special purpose depository institution charter. I know this has been in the news for the last couple of days. Kraken is now the first SPDI bank in Wyoming, according to the Wyoming Division of Banking's General Counsel, Chris Land. Kraken will also be the first newly chartered de novo bank in the state since 2006. By becoming a bank, we get direct access to federal payments infrastructure, and we can more seamlessly integrate banking and funding options for customers, said David Koniski, a managing director at Kraken and the CEO of the newly formed Kraken Financial. Koniski has run Greystone Investments, was the first digital assets hire at Fidelity, and was most recently head of business development at payment startup Circle. And so again, for the space as a whole, this is a great thing moving forward. It certainly is going to give you and I, it will give you and I more options, but this opens the door for others as well. And let us not forget that OCC comptroller of the currency, Brian Brooks, is saying that you don't necessarily have to have all the functions or perform all the functions of a bank, right, to be kind of chartered, become a chartered bank, or to, you know, kind of get the blessing to do so. And so I look for others to kind of move in this direction as well, because one of the main things that is important is, like the sentence says, becoming a bank, we get direct access to federal payments infrastructure. So that's a huge, huge, huge point. And again, I'll say it again, Ripple's decision to put a department together, if you will, to be in the loan business and actually loan, right? Loan, provide capital to SMEs is a big deal. It really, really, really is a big deal. And so we're definitely moving forward without question. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how these few months, the September, October, November, December, and January of 2021, what are they going to look like for us that are digital assets holders, right? We hold assets. We hold assets, and we just cannot make light of that or think it's a small thing because a certain digital asset is at a certain price. The value is not necessarily represented in the price of the token or coin. That's not what the value is, right? The value is and it has always been in the protocol. So we're in a really, really blessed spot as XRP hodlers, but we're in a blessed spot just in the fact that we hold digital assets and are allowed to hold them currently. Currently, I had a very, very interesting talk with a community member last night. We hopped on the Zoom. We had a really, really great talk. And, this idea of how long, if will we be able to hold on to XRP, I still, personally, I do think that it is a thing. Interestingly enough, Roger Veer brought up the same example that I brought up with this community member on Zoom. He brought it up today in this interview that he did with on the XRP Army News community channel with Scott. And so I'm gonna, hopefully I may share some of that as well, but it's just an exciting time. And so if you're an XRP hodler, I get it. I hope that you continue to hodl strong. I'm gonna play something from that interview. It's gonna be like, I wonder why did they, the powers that be, do that and make that decision with Ripple? Why did they tell them they can't do this? I found that to be very, very interesting. So we're going to listen to that as well. So great news all around for Kraken becoming a U.S. licensed digital asset bank, a digital asset bank. And Kraken's kind of saying some of their stuff here on what they're going to be doing. And my understanding is SPDI, Crypto Eddie shared something that SPDI is going to be providing a service for them in Japan when they open up in Japan. Don't quote me exactly on that. She had the information, but when Kraken, who is going to be re-entering into Japan, SPDI is going to have a part in how they move the assets through there. So that's really, really great to see Mr. Yoshitaka Kitao. And oh, by the way, so Crypto Eddie did point out that that article ultimately, even though you get the Google translations, the article ultimately it was just speculation, that he has not got that nod, right? So shout out to Crypto Eddie, big time community community member and big time value add to the community for pointing that out, right? And so even though you get people saying stuff on Twitter, you see the articles and the Google translation says one thing, it wasn't, it was quite another, right? It was just speculation. But it is cool, and it is important to note that Mr. Kitao does have a very good, strong relationship with the new prime minister of Japan, and really was encouraged by his idea of this fourth bank, if you will, in Japan. So, but you know, when I said on the live stream, I was saying like Mr. Katawa is busy, like. Right, he's busy. He's got a lot of stuff going on. How is it that he's going to take this position, right? How is he going to take this position, economic advisor? And then there it is. There's the word. In fact, Crypto Eddie said the same thing this morning or last night when she did a video. Like, the dude's got a lot of stuff going on. How is he going to just take this position as economic advisor, right? And so we got the word. We got the official word. Shout out to Crypto Eddie. Kraken wins bank charter approval. We saw that already. And it kind of says this blog.kraken.com kind of explains the different things that they will be doing. Can international persons apply for bank accounts? In its first phase of operation, Kraken Financial will only offer accounts to U.S. So it is not state specific. It's not state specific. U.S. residents. So that's a cool deal. Again, because, you know, we want to be in a position where, you know, the in and out, hopefully, Kraken doesn't, you know, operate as a bank and, you know, doing all these kind of, you know, take the same mindset and start charging these crazy fees, right? The worst thing we want is a digital, you know, a digital asset exchange now acting just like a bank, charging fees. What is it going to be? Overdraft fees? I mean, what is that going to look like, right? That's important to know. But I know I saw a couple of things in some Telegram groups that I'm part of. They were saying it was only going to be for Wyoming residents, but here it is right here. Can international persons apply for bank accounts? And the answer is, in its first phase of operation, Kraken Financial will only offer accounts to United States residents. So it's not going to be state specific. It's not going to just be for the people in Wyoming. But they say we hope to expand globally soon. This is a great question. How is an SPDI different from a traditional commercial bank? Is it regulated differently? There are several different kinds of banks. A traditional community bank exists to service local community through safeguarding customer deposits and lending those deposits to meet the credit needs of its neighbors and small businesses. Other kinds of banks, called custody banks, provide services that are more focused on asset custody and providing a safe, trusted gateway for customers to conduct transactions and regulated securities and commodities markets. Custody banks are among the largest U.S. banks. The SPDI is a custody bank in the same way, but for digital assets like virtual currency. Both custody banks and community banks, however, are still banks under federal and state law because they conduct deposit-taking activity. That's a great question. Kraken Financial as a bank is required by Wyoming law to maintain 100% reserve of its deposits of fiat currency at all times. If every client were to demand withdrawals of their fiat at the same moment, Kraken Financial would be able to fulfill each withdrawal immediately without regard to how many loans we had outstanding. This is the advantage of the SPI charter because the FDIC generally only insures deposits up to $250,000. For this reason, deposits will not be required to be insured by the FDIC. So when it comes to virtual assets and stuff like that, here's the ultimate deal. You know, if we're able to keep a hold of our keys, cool. If not, not so cool, right? And so that ultimately is going to be the deal that we'll have to find out. Because again, if they get this bank title and then they begin to act like a bank, and if they can freeze accounts, then it's not so cool, right? If they can freeze your account and they have access to your stuff and you do not, that's not so cool, right? And so that's not where we want to go. So we'll see how they operate, right? And we'll see what kind of different things that they do. Digital asset custody, demand deposit accounts, wire transfer and funding services. Again, this is great for onboarding people into the space and being able to get more mass adoption. This is going to be absolutely cool. The thing that I want to know is what kind of control in a custody fashion or manner do they have over the assets? That's what I want to know. So we'll see. We anticipate supporting additional services over the next few years, including enhanced digital asset custody offering, digital asset staking. Are you kidding? Trust account and administration, other services for individual accounts. So we'll see how it goes. This is great news for Kraken for sure. I think it's great news for the space as a whole, right? We got the big word from Brian Brooks about banks being able to custody assets. Kraken is going to take advantage of that without question. Very, 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 very cool. But ultimately, not your keys, not your assets. So again, what are you going to be getting from the bank? What are you going to be getting from Kraken? What are you going to be getting for depositing your stuff there? It can't just be safety, right? It's going to have to be something else, right? Right? The pros and the cons, the rewards versus risk, right? Because if you want to think and act like the 1% of the 1%, they're not just concerned about safety. They want to earn on their assets. Not that they disregard safety, but they want to be able to earn on their assets. And if I put my digital assets with you, are you providing yield? Are you paying me yield for that? Or are you going to try to, are there going to be some stakeholders, some shareholders rather, and you're giving all the profit and stuff to them? So this is the thing that we're going to be looking out for Kraken in their operation, the modus operandi, if you will. So we'll soon see. But you definitely want to check out this blog. Some really great questions that you want to, you can check out and get your questions answered. blog.kraken.com. So, but something more, what I find a little bit more exciting is what is going on with Kava, right? And I'm just going to read the first part of this. Kava blogs, and here it's the title, Kava, the next chapter. This article will finally unveil the true vision of the Kava platform and share what it means for Kava holders and our community in the months to come. Right? This is something that you want to check out on Medium. I don't know if you would follow Brian Kerr on Medium or if you're going to follow Kava, but definitely want to check this out. Preface: the community originally compared the Kava platform to MakerDAO and its CDP, collateralized debt position functionality. Many memes floated around on Twitter saying Kava is a cross-chain MakerDAO or Kava is a MakerDAO for Bitcoin. While being compared to MakerDAO and their success is flattering, it doesn't really do the justice to what Kava actually is. Kava is much more than a cross-chain lending platform. Just like Bezos started Amazon with only books, we were fine letting the beams run around and position Kava as only a cross-chain lending platform. However, like Amazon, behind the scenes, we've had a much grander plan for the platform that we've been diligently working on. With the upcoming Kava 4 gateway release scheduled for October the 15th, it's safe to say Kava will have completed its first mission to establish cross-chain DeFi, cross-chain decentralized finance for major assets like Bitcoin, XRP, and Binance Coin. With this step of our journey soon reaching completion, it's time to unveil the larger vision for the Kava platform and what it means for the Kava community and Kava holders. Well, I can't wait to get into this later on the live stream. I'll do a live stream later on today. We'll see. We'll kind of check on the different times. It might be at 9. We have a business appointment at 8 that we have to do. But it may be at 9, it may be earlier. We'll see how that goes. But I really want to kind of get into this because I think Kava, again, is taking things to another level when it comes to decentralized finance. And I'm certain that they're looking to do the things the right way. And perhaps this will be a great, great complement to Celsius. So this is what I'm looking for. I think this is going to, what is it? What did I want to say? Block out. I think it's going to have, this is going to prevent bad actors. I think Kava is going to prevent the bad actors and the scams and the quick money grabs. I think that the true authenticity of this Kava platform is going to just shield away, right? It's going to, I want to say, not magnetize. What's the other word I'm thinking? oh my God, I can't think of it, but it's going to repel. It's going to repel the bad actors. It's going to repel, you know, the people coming in and try to create something, and it's just nothing but a big money grab. First in is going to win, the rest is going to lose type deal. I think Kava is going to repel that, and so I'm really, really excited about it, and I think it's going to be a great compliment, really, to Celsius Network. I really, really do. Or Celsius now. So we'll cover that later on in the stream as well. But let's check out this video from Scott from XRP Army News Community Channel, where he's interviewing Roger Ver. Listen to this question and statement from Roger Ver. It's a fascinating one. We'll discuss this later.
I've seen with every time I've tried using it. And if anything, the biggest hindrance, and I guess we can kind of question for David Schwartz or Jed at this point, but I know my interactions with XRP, I'm fast, cheap, reliable transactions. That's what I've seen with every time I've tried using it. And if anything, the biggest hindrance, and I guess we can kind of blame this to some extent on the US government there as well, but the biggest hindrance for XRP adoption is there aren't really too many consumer-facing wallets at this.
And this is a great question. Now, what Scott asked him was, do you feel like XRP and what Ripple is doing is the next level, that next iteration of great blockchain technology, right? And he says, you know, you're going to have to let David answer that question for you. You know, he was totally singing the praises of what Ripple was doing because he has real use cases, but he respects all digital assets that have use cases behind them, like his Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, whatever it might be. And so he's a big proponent of the space of utility. Show me the token or asset that it has real world use case to it. And I'm a fan, right? And so he's a fan of that. But I do think it's so important that he points out here, and this is going to go on for 4 or 5 minutes, so guys, be patient. He does point out that the United States government came in at a point and did some things or prohibited Ripple from doing some things. And he talks about his lawyers, and he talks about the fact that probably his lawyers don't want him to say anything. So it's kind of like the real inside. But the first thing he says is no consumer facing wallets. And I remember thinking about that, right? Why is it that Ripple doesn't have its own wallet? Why is that they don't have their own wallet? Why did other people have to come and build a wallet for them? They could easily build one. Why didn't they have one? And why did we have to wait for something like the Sum app or whatever, if you will, or, you know, Bread doing whatever Bread is doing? I thought it was really, really interesting because he's a guy who was there from the beginning. And so he's pointing out some stuff that I find fascinating in reference to what the United States government was doing, in his words.
This point, but there's a whole other story behind that maybe my lawyers wouldn't be too happy if I talked about it, but I don't really care because you only live life once, and it's important to speak the truth. So shoot, I don't know, in the year 2013 or 14 now, it's been a while, the US government, they don't like me because I'm not a fan of governments in general. I think people should have control of their own lives, and they shouldn't need permission from any politician to be able to send or receive any amount of money with anyone anywhere on the planet. And that's what made me so excited about Bitcoin, so excited about XRP, so excited about Monero, so excited about Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum and Dash, and take your pick. I'm excited about this entire ecosystem because I want to empower individuals to have more control over their own lives. And so I was literally the second person ever to be involved in Ripple or XRP. At the time that this happened, I think I was the third largest in the company itself. And you know, I saw all the great stuff that was going on with Ripple and XRP, and I didn't own any of the actual tokens themselves. I only owned part of the company. So I reached out to Chris Larson, and I said, hey, Chris, like, I see all the great stuff you guys have going on. This is fantastic, but I want to own more of this. I want to own some of the XRP tokens because right now I don't own any of them. I only own some shares in the company itself. And I said, can you sell me some XRP? And they said, yeah, sure, no problem. And he just you know, emailed over to me their standard onboarding like packet, which was like, I don't know, a 10-page PDF asking for, every last different detail and question about you. And I replied to him and I said, like, hey, it's not like you guys don't know who I am. I'm a public figure in the space. I helped set up the company. You don't need this 10-page long document from me in regards to do this. And he's like, you're absolutely right, Roger. No problem at all. And so then they sold me some XRP, and it was I paid them by wire transfer. Like everything was nice and smooth and easy. I might have paid by Bitcoin. I don't remember.
Listen to what he says after this, because it's just so hugely important. Again, this is around 2013 or 14. Okay, so he was, he was in a position to help Ripple in terms of funding, financing, investing, whatever, in Ripple, and realized he didn't have any XRP. He wanted to get some XRP. And because of the government thing, there was a big KYC AML thing, right? This is how Ripple got in trouble early on in the beginning, because they weren't doing this kind of KYC and AML. And the government came in there, right? Because they can knock on the door, right? There was no door to knock on with Bitcoin, right? And so they could knock on the door and Ripple say, yeah, we need some we're seeing some AML stuff here kind of going on. And Roger said, yeah, I'm not good with that. In essence, I'm paraphrasing, but in essence, he's saying, dude, you know me. I've been in your office. You took my money for the Ripple stuff. What's the deal with all this big time KYC and AML just to get some of this digital asset? So in essence, he's saying he's not good with it. He wasn't good with it, and they said, you know what? You're right. And then the government. Yeah, they had a challenge for that. So listen to this.
If it was wire transfer Bitcoin, to be honest, it's been so long at this point, but everything was great. And then a couple of years later, some federal prosecutor had a bee in her bonnet or whatever, and really, really wanted to go after Ripple, and they really insisted that I be part of that. And they tried to spin the whole thing around, claiming that I strong-armed the executive team at Ripple into not abiding by their KYC practices, and just a whole bunch of nonsense. And they negotiated for a long time with the eventual consent agreement there that they signed. And the United States government wouldn't budge one bit about, having me in it, because they wanted to demonize me as if I was some sort of bad guy for wanting to invest in cryptocurrencies and own cryptocurrencies. It's just absolute nonsense, and just shows what a bunch of hypocrites the United States government are. They love to point out how China is, horrible on allowing free speech and the way they're treating the Uyghurs and this and that. And they're right. But then look at what the U.S. government's doing to Edward Snowden or Julian Assange or any of these other guys in the West. They just turn a complete blind eye to almost the exact same sort of thing that they're doing over here. So, two wrongs don't make a right. And if there's one bully in the East, that doesn't mean it's okay for there to be a bully in the West. A bully is a bully is a bully, no matter where they are in the world. And I'm excited about cryptocurrencies because it takes away power from the bullies to bully people. And that's why I love XRP and Bitcoin Cash and all of these things. It's just
Yeah, so that's a very, very interesting story. And Roger actually started the interview out basically minute 2. I got some really interesting Ripple stories that I've never actually said and publicly that, we can definitely talk about and share as well, right? Because he was there back in the day. And again, maybe this will be a conversation for the stream, but why not the Ripple wallet? Why not? Why hasn't that? Why? Look, there's a lot of digital assets that have come, and companies have come. They got some people behind them. I just find it fascinating that they didn't want the people to have these wallets, and I find that to be very, very fascinating. The ledger, yep. I find that to be very, very fascinating. It'd be great to find out. From Brad or someone who was back there in the beginning, David Schwartz, why that, whatever agreement that they came up with, why that challenge. I find that to be interesting. I just, something tells me it's something about what Ripple has. They didn't want the masses to know about. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. And it just kind of also adds to that question that we always ask. It's why does no one ever say the name XRP? To this day, 2020, till this day. Why is it? And another thing is why aren't people asking just straight out, the Novogratz, do you own some XRP? To Draper, do you own some XRP? Like was asked the other day. All right. Why? What Tim Draper actually said, he does own some XRP. Why haven't these questions been asked? Why is Jim Rickards in a round table with 4, maybe 5 other people? Probably was 4 other people. Why, when the Bitcoin conversation is going on about and its ailments, okay, and its woes that were with Bitcoin and this technology, every single person at that round table with Jim Rickards, including Jim Rickards, had something to say. But when XRP was mentioned in this same roundtable, not 2 people going back and forth singing the praises of XRP. There wasn't a peep from Jim Rickards. Not a peep. I find that to be very, right? Like yay or nay, right? Yay or nay. Hey, XRP is useless. They don't, the central banks will build their own bridge currency. Not even anything negative. The dude sat there and didn't say a word. Jim Rickards, who we all know loves to talk, an insider without question, geopolitically and otherwise, and not a word, yay or nay, about XRP, to me, is fascinating. Not a word, not a peep. How is it? How is he going to have the other 3 people, or maybe other 3, and 2 of the 3 are just going back and forth singing the praises of XRP, and Jim sits there like a statue. He doesn't nod. Right? You could have nod in agreement. You could have nod in disagreement if you don't agree. Not a movement. Not a movement. Not a word. Not a peep. You have to ask yourself why, because we all know he knows about, when it came to Stellar Lumen, he mentioned Stellar Lumen back in 2018. He talked about the pilot thing that they had going on, if you will, with IBM in 2018. He's never said a peep about XRP publicly. Never. Why would you talk about Stellar Lumen and something that they're doing with IBM on a pilot program in some different parts of the region, maybe even emerging markets where they're going to be using Stellar and on the Stellar blockchain, but not a peep about XRP. It doesn't make sense to me. When everyone, and this is 2018, and surely by that time, Ripple and XRP had proven itself in the space, partnerships, the whole 9, right? Technology getting better and better and better since it was created in 2012. And in 2018, you'll talk about Stellar and not mention XRP. In that particular roundtable, I forget what year that was. I think that was 2018 as well. Again, three people besides himself in a roundtable. They're singing the praises. Two of the dudes singing the praises of XRP. And again, Rickards, nothing. The discussion about Bitcoin, you couldn't shut Rickards up. You couldn't shut him up. You couldn't shut him up. When those 2 dudes brought up Ripple and XRP, not a peep from Jim Rickards. I find that to be a very, very telling sign about not wanting the masses to know. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.